$10 bet, it's $69.69.
Oh, you take over? I'll take over.
We'll act like we're gonna win money.
No chance.
Not at all.
Not a shot.
Welcome back to another episode of the Say With Your Chest podcast, everybody. Today, we'll be talking about some news that's happened over the last 2 days, and then we're going to get into our top 10 fantasy tight ends.
I just want to put in full disclosure. I am someone who personally struggles with drafting tight ends in fantasy. So for my list, I kind of just ranked top 10 tight ends in the league, not really fantasy tight ends. So if you want like a good fantasy pick, go with John's list. Kind of disregard my list, but I'm still going to give you my list because that's what we do here. We each give you guys a list.
Because that's what we do here.
That's
I was
what
about
we
to
do.
say, I was about to be like, yeah, get in line. Like, we all suck at drafting tight ends. 'Cause it's, like, impossible.
You don't.
Besides, like, Travis.
You have a
and-
whole black notebook with fantasy notes.
You goddamn right I do. That people steal from me.
I know. You put them in. You lock it in a safe. You're like a psycho.
Mm-hmm. I do. That's why I win every year. The secrets
He
are
hasn't
within.
won in our league in the last 4 years.
The secrets are
I've won more
relax.
recently than he has.
Relax.
I have. Look, we need to go back. I could pull it up. I could re-download Yahoo right now.
I got a ring, cuz.
So do I, dog.
Word.
Word.
That's it.
Okay.
Is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I'm a champ. I'm a champ.
All right, John. Kick us off with
All
some
right,
news.
we'll start
today.
off here. Zay Jones beat the fuck out of No, he didn't do that. Stop.
redo that.
No. That's saying it. Zay Jones was suspended for the first 4 weeks of play, but was taking away his pay. See what I did there?
It was a stretch.
All right.
4 weeks. No
What
pay?
did he do?
What did he do?
Zay Jones actually did beat the fuck out of his wife.
I don't know why we're laughing.
Domestic battery.
That's not something we should be.
We're
laughing
gonna cut that.
at.
We can't laugh at that. That's terrible.
Zay Jones has unfortunately.
I thought it
beat the
was-
living shit out of his. lovely
I
wife.
thought it was drugs. It's not. All right, we're gonna come back here.
All right, John. Tell us why Zay.
That's bad. It's terrible. Okay.
All right, John. Tell us why Zay Jones is suspended 4 weeks with no pay.
Right. He was charged with misdemeanor domestic battery after an argument with the mother of his child. Apparently, this was back in November.
Oh.
So this has all been brewing, I guess, and now they finally
Came to a
verdict.
punishment.
Yep. So
But
he's out the
still-
first 5 games for the Cardinals.
4 weeks. I feel like you should like. You
Oh,
bet-
first 5 games. My bad.
Still, you
5
bet
games.
on an NFL game, you're out for a whole season. You beat up a female, you're
Mhm.
5 games.
5 games. That's it.
Like that's. I feel like it should be like the other way
The
around.
little intricacies, the NFL policies, and then the legal system.
Yeah.
You're walking a tightrope with a lot of these things.
Yeah, I know. But like, Calvin Ridley couldn't play for a whole year because he bet on some NFL games.
It's very true.
This dude beat up his baby mama, and he's missing 5 weeks. Okay,
Yep.
whoop-de-doo.
Yep.
Like 5 weeks is nothing. Like yeah, he's not getting paid, but like 5 that's nothing.
I know. And we've had players in the past that have just like got
What's his
actually
name?
got
Ray Rice.
nothing. Yeah.
He got like what 2 games I think.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Actually got nothing. Well, all right. I guess that's news for right now. I would
Not much
say
has happened in the last day or two.
the big news I do want to talk about really is they just recently changed the Pro Football Hall of Fame, cut the waiting period for coaches entering the Hall of Fame. Pro Football Hall of Fame cut the waiting period for coaches from 5-year wait to a 1-year wait.
Which makes no sense to me. Why is it 1 year for them?
Well, because I think just because in like recent time, within the last 15 years, there's definitely been more players to come back from their first retirement than coaches have,
Well, yeah, but
and also
1
coaches
year,
in their 70s. Like, I mean, I guess they do that now because like Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll are now out as coaches, like 2 longtime head coaches that have done a lot for the NFL and are clearly not coming back to football. So
you don't know that. Bill's hinted at it.
nah. Well, now he'll be in the Hall of Fame and he can't come back. Maybe that's why.
Oh, is that a rule? You're not allowed in? To come back once you're in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, no player has ever come back once they've entered the
Yeah,
Hall.
because that's usually they retire for 5 years already.
Right.
Like, but there's been coaches that retire for a year and then come back like 2-3 years later.
They weren't in the Hall of Fame.
No, I know, but I'm just saying like.
Yeah,
Sean
once you're in the
Payton's
Hall,
done it.
once you're in the Hall, that's it. You're ineligible.
Yeah, I know.
That's why the 5-year thing is you're eligible for Hall, but that's it, ineligible to play. And also after 5 years, why would you come back anyway? Like you've been out so long.
Times
You know.
tough.
But for
City
coaches, I mean, well, think about it. Also, coach-wise, I mean, you have to have a pretty insane resume, regardless, to get into the Hall,
Well,
right?
yeah.
So, realistically, if you're young, you'd have to be one hell of a short resume if you're a young head coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For you to, not come back, like within a couple of years or whatnot.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I get what you're saying.
you know what I'm trying to
I
say.
get what you're saying.
But at the end of next year, Patriots coach Bill Belichick and former Seahawks coach Pete Carroll would be eligible for the Hall
Crazy.
already within a year.
Crazy.
I don't necessarily mind it.
You don't?
I don't mind it for coaches. No,
Okay.
I don't mind it. If they change it for players, though, I think that's going to be... Well, I don't know if that'd necessarily be a problem.
Because you got guys like.
Because how many players can you actually name? Or I don't even know if there's ever been that, like, they retired and then waited the full 5 years and then came
not
back.
5 years.
But
Ref Ball retired 3 times.
But if they're shortening it, then that means that there's too many people coming back within the first, like, we'll say 3 years of their first retirement, and they want to maybe stop that. One more thing.
Talk to me, John. Last thing.
If I could find it. I can't find it here, but I'm pretty sure I remember the deal. Chiefs center.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Creed Humphrey signed a 4-year, $74 million deal, which is huge. Best center in football. After now, Jason Kelsey's out.
Yeah.
Creed Humphrey takes over that lead, highest paid center in history. Well deserved. Gonna be in Kansas City a long time. And after
Kansas City's never not going to be good.
2 Super Bowl wins like that, how do you not pay the man?
Yeah.
Doesn't give up sacks. Doesn't give up a lot. Definitely worth the money.
Good for him.
And then anything preseason ball that you want to talk, buddy?
No, because I did not watch the games yesterday.
I mean, we're kind of banging these out, and as of right now, it's like right before the season
They played
starts.
like one game yesterday.
We're
and I
kind
didn't watch
of
it.
we're in that like 2-week stage right now, right before the season starts, where it's like there's not too much news, So I guess we could just get right into the
I
list.
also don't
really.
typically watch preseason because I don't really care to see like the third strings play.
Right.
Like, chances are half the people watching playing aren't making the team, or if they do, they're not seeing the field.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll watch like the first quarter where like the starters play,
Mm-hmm.
and then usually turn it off.
Well, I would say this season, I mean, it's definitely been fun watching the Bears play, and watching. I don't know if you've watched any of the Hard Knocks.
I've watched the first 2 episodes of the Giants. I'm a little behind on Hard Knocks.
Gotcha. The Bears just released episode 3, so they've been going through from before the Hall of Fame game to now each preseason game. So it's been fun to watch the Bears offense play. Caleb Williams looks really good. The offense looks great. Bears are undefeated so far in the preseason.
I mean, I've seen the highlights of the Bears. Caleb Williams looks amazing out
He
there.
looks good so far.
So
I'm
if he
really
can carry
excited.
that into the regular season, Bears
I'm excited
they have
for
a
the
chance
Bears this year.
to fight for the division.
Mm-hmm. I think it relies on Caleb. If Caleb can just play well, I think we've already talked about this, but I think that, the Bears could legitimately fight. I know it's crazy, but, they could fight for the North.
It's really like
realistically.
the
It's
Vikings
on
are the
him.
only team that can't win it.
Because, and I know it's crazy, it's like, oh, but the Lions are in there, oh, the Packers are in there. I already hear people saying that, but it's like that division.
I said it until I saw watching
that
seeing the highlights.
division,
Of what
I've
Caleb's
never
been
seen a
doing.
division just give more games to each other for no reason. Like, the Lions will just drop a game to any team in that division, regardless. I'm actually pretty sure the Bears did, maybe not last year. No, maybe, I think it was last year. The Bears did beat the Lions once.
Yeah.
And they sucked last year.
Yeah.
So it can happen at any given time. So the Bears could, theoretically, Caleb Williams plays like rookie year Cam Newton kind of, beat.
Is he your pick for rookie of the year?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely the favorite.
Oh, 100%.
Unless Marvin Harrison
That's my pick.
does like some insane stuff, like breaks all of Puka's records that he had, last year.
Harrison's
But
my
if
pick.
Caleb does anything that like CJ Stroud just did last year,
Yeah.
then it'll be a runaway.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, but what? Who else would really
I'm just saying,
be
like, yeah,
taking
but
that?
he has to do that.
He does have to do that.
Like,
He would
like what CJ did last year is not easy for a rookie quarterback to do.
He would have to be the first Bears
Pass for over 4,000 yards.
quarterback to pass over 4,000 yards.
Which is honestly crazy to me that they haven't. Like, Jay Cutler never threw for over 4K.
Find that very hard to believe. Like,
Right?
Jay
That's what
Cutler
I'm saying.
never threw for 4K.
He's the only one, like, because I saw the list of Bears quarterbacks. I thought Jay Cutler was way better than what he actually did.
Before we get into the tight ends, I have to see this. I gotta just see like Jay Cutler's stats.
Apparently, he never made it.
I also just look up Jay Cutler's stats.
I mean, maybe he did it in Denver in the beginning of his career. While on the Bears, he never did. And he was on the Bears for a while.
He did do it with Denver. He threw 4,500 yards in 2008. His highest with the Bears is 3,800 in 2014.
John, let's kick us off with... Kick us off with... Actually, I think I kick us off.
My bad. Yeah, you can kick us off.
Yeah, I believe I'm the first slide. Like I said in the intro, kind of disregard my list. I kind of just rank the top 10 tight ends in the league. I don't really know much about tight ends when it comes to fantasy. I kind of struggle with them. So, at number 10, I have David Njoku.
You really show your true colors to the fans.
I'm going to be honest. I'll be honest with y'all. I'll be honest.
Kevin's here for the vibes. Straight vibes.
I don't think I'm doing that bad.
Quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and then the drop off is just at the tight end.
Yeah, no. I'll be straight up. Tight ends, not my specialty. You want kickers though? Shit, let me talk to you.
Let me tell you about this legendary run I had. Won the championship, so Justin Tucker in the fifth round. Third round?
It was like
No
third or
way it
fourth.
was the third
It's like
round.
third or fourth.
Kevin. No. I wouldn't have even allowed that as commissioner. Straight up. If you drafted Tucker in the third, there was no way I could have allowed you to win a championship that year.
Early.
That's so great. I'm pretty sure fifth round. Fifth round's early enough. You want to go even earlier. You want to go where like the quarterbacks are being drafted.
All right, man. Anyway, number 10 tight end, I have David Njoku. Put him on the screen.
That's a great pick, Kev,
Put him up
honestly.
there he is.
It really is
Hey,
a great
buddy.
pick.
How you doing? Fist bump. Yeah. All right, so I got David Njoku as my number 10.
Mm-hmm. Tell me everything about him.
On the Browns offense, they have Jerry Jeudy. Amari Cooper's still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Old head. Old head.
Yeah. So I feel like Watson's going to target them more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I got Njoku at 10. But last year he finished as tight end number 6 with 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. I feel like he's not going to get that many touchdowns this year. I don't think he's going to get 6. Probably get like 3 or 4. Yards probably going to be about the same between the 700 and 800 mark.
Right.
So that's why I have him at 10 and not up close to 6 where he was last year.
He got fed a good amount last year.
No, I know he did. I'm a David Njoku fan, but I feel like he's going to take a little step back this year.
Oh, bad. Thank you. Sorry, camera.
Wow, I have like nothing to say about tight ends, guys. I'm telling you, fantasy-wise, I have nothing to
God,
say
you're in
about
the shit. Yeah, David Njoku finished tight end 6, highest of his career, had career highs across the board in every category, touchdown yards, targets, receptions. I think he's going to repeat pretty much the same thing. Me personally, I have him just outside the top 10, just because the Browns offense, as much as I would like them to do well, their defense is great, right? Deshaun Watson is such a mystery at this point of his career. Can't stay healthy. Sometimes he plays good.
Sometimes he plays
I don't know what to think about it. And with Amari there, Jerry Jeudy there, Nick Chubb's going to be coming back from injury. David Njoku is a huge part, whatever, in that offense. He's going to be heavily targeted regardless of the quarterback. Obviously, Deshaun Watson wasn't there the back half of the year. Joe Flacco was the one giving him all these targets towards the end of the year. So I don't know. Watson likes to throw to Amari, so
How could you not?
I think that a lot of the numbers that David Njoku put up this year is going to be suppressed due to Flacco not being there. But I think 10 is a fine pick, really.
We got 10.
In the Browns offense. Okay, my 10 pick might be controversial, but for me, it's not. As much as I love George Kittle, as a fantasy tight end goes, man, is it disappointing and just a shit show to watch every week. I mean, seriously. Now, I've done fantasy now. This is I've been doing fantasy a long time, okay? Mm-hmm. George Kittle is one of the most inconsistent players I've ever witnessed when playing fantasy football. Okay. Now, granted, he is a tight end. All right, so I can't really fault him that much because tight ends are just a misery to begin with. Okay. Now, numbers look here, they're great, right? Finishes the tight end 5, 3, 4. He's in a great offense. Okay. He's in a great offense. He's one of the most targeted in his offense. Great tight end, right? If we were talking not fantasy tight end, phenomenal. He's one of the best tight ends in the league, straight up. All right, he can block and catch, run block, whatever you want to do. All right, you can argue he's a top dog. But fantasy-wise, it's so inconsistent, okay? I don't want to wait on that 40-point week where he's going to score 2-3 touchdowns a game, all right? And then the next week I get 2 points because McCaffrey, Debo, or Ayuk are, doing something insane that week. When I look at the Niners offense, Kittle tends to be looked at as the third or fourth option in that offense. Usually McCaffrey, and then you have Debo and Ayuk, and then Kittle is rounding out that loaded offense. Okay. Usually, now the tight ends that I have above there are either the first or second option really in this offense. The talent is there. It's this year specifically. I mean, he was really good. He went for a stack, had 6 touchdowns, 65 catches. It was a decent year. I just don't think we get that this year, even if Ayuk leaves. I just don't see it. It's not consistent enough for me. I need somebody that's going to, put up. I would rather just 10 points a week consistently than the 30 and then 5, than the drop off. This has been a tug of war his whole career. And it sucks because when you watch football, he's dominant,
No, I know.
Top 3 tight end in the league.
That's why I have him.
But when it comes to fantasy, it's not even remotely the same. It's so funny to me. So yeah, that's my take for Kittle. Okay. Wasn't even gonna put him in the top 10, honestly. I mean, honorable mentions for me were really Cole Kmet and Dallas Goedert, if that has anything that does anything for you.
What do you mean does anything
All right.
for me?
I don't know. I just didn't know if those names were gonna do anything for you.
I mean, Goddard's on my list.
All right, word. Is he really?
Yeah. Who's the other one you said?
Cole Kmet.
He's not on my list.
Okay.
He's outside.
They're just outside, along with Njoku. Njoku was right outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really between him or Kittle. But I'll give Kittle the respect that he deserves.
Okay.
Just for the 10th spot.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on.
Number 9.
Give
I
it to me.
got Dalton Kincaid.
The rookie. Sophomore now.
Yeah, he's a sophomore now. He finished as the tight end 11 last year. Mm-hmm. So I think this year, with no Diggs in the Buffalo offense, I think he becomes more of a targeted guy. He takes a step up because really, we've talked about this before. Bills don't really have anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Kincaid is going to be Josh Allen's safety blanket, and he's really going to take that leap into the top 10 wide receivers. Because he was close wide receivers, tight ends. Because he was close last year, being number 11, like I said. So I think he had 73 receptions, 673 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think he's definitely going to be targeted more in the red zone this year without Diggs there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
he has to.
He has to be.
Has to be Josh Allen's security blanket.
So I think he's gonna probably have around 800 yards with at least 5 or 6 TDs this year. Mm-hmm. I think that's gonna put him at wide receiver 9.
I think he has a big year. I think you have him honestly a little low.
You think
in
so?
my opinion, yeah. Because the offense, I think losing Diggs and even though Josh Allen's great and the rushing and the passing are there, the loss of Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis is huge for this offense. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Kincaid had a slow start to last year. Then they lose their offensive coordinator. Diggs really wasn't getting the ball much. Neither was Gabe Davis. It was the James Cook and Dalton Kincaid show to really finish out the year. And now that they're both gone, and Dawson, we really haven't seen much of Dawson Knox too much, last year. It's going to be the Dalton Kincaid show, in my opinion. With a rookie and Keon Coleman, they bring over Curtis Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Kincaid looks to take on most of the target share and most of the volume coming out of this offense. So I think that he will probably finish a lot higher than you're giving him credit for.
So?
Yeah.
All right.
But I think it's fine. At least he's on the list.
Oh, he's on there.
At least he's up here. Thank God. Now, all right, my 9 is a player that just is the joke of the league. It feels like
The joke of the league.
the last couple of years. I mean, really. I mean, we have everyone's had their battles with him at some point the last couple seasons.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Now, a lot of people wouldn't even say his name, put him way off the list because they're just so sick and tired of watching the nothingness that comes from him every year. With the no quarterback play, and is it going to be Drake London? What's the deal with the running backs? Are we going to finally give it to Pitts? Is Pitts actually going to do something in America aside from scoring touchdowns in London when he doesn't score in the United States?
You see, I was one of those
I
guys.
don't have those answers for you, people, all right?
I was one of those guys who had his battles with Kyle Pitts. I had him, I think, his rookie year.
Yeah, rookie year when he finished tight end 6 and then just gone.
Yeah, I think I drafted him. I might have had him last year too. I had him once or twice. I wasn't so happy with him, but I will say I do have him up on my list a little bit just because of the new system he's in, and he finally has a good quarterback with Kirk Cousins, and new head coach, new offense, everything. So I think this is finally going to be the Kyle Pitts year.
If I were to tell you that one of the highest touted, most beloved tight end prospects in NFL history has 6 touchdowns in 3 seasons, what would you say to that?
You're lying.
I'm lying, right?
I say you're lying.
Well, that's the truth. Despite him having 1,000 receiving yards his rookie year, he had 1 touchdown that year.
No, I know.
2 the next, 3 last year. It's been abysmal, to say the least. Yeah. It really has. And I believe that a new coach and now finally a quarterback, Kirk Cousins, is just going to force feed the ball to Kyle Pitts regardless.
I think so.
I mean, we saw what Hawkinson was doing last year.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, with an established quarterback like Kirk Cousins, Pitts is going to get the targets he deserves.
I think Kirk Cousins being there is going to unleash Drake London more than I think we are
giving him credit.
Giving him credit for it, discounting him. But Kyle Pitts he's young. He's just a better athlete than everybody on the field. All right, and the fact that this monster athlete does not get the ball at least 10 to 15 times a game. He should be out there with 10 catches, 150 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Seriously.
I know.
And he doesn't even get targeted. It's a joke, really. And I had to put him at 9 because I have to give that glimmer of hope that this will be the season that he finally does something.
Oh, I think so.
Because I'm really sick of the every year, just nothing. Yeah. And last year I finally got on the Pitts train, and it was just abysmal. It really was. It was just sad, and I get why people have been pissed off the last 2 years.
You guys thought I was crazy that year I had him when I was like, yo, Pitts isn't it anymore. Like, he's trash. I want him off my team. You guys were like, no.
When was this, last year? Or 2 years? Probably 2 years ago. It's trash.
Yeah.
Finishes as tight end 33.
Yeah,
but he only played 10 games. But what's crazy is the rookie year he played all 16 games. Last year he played all 16 games. But last year, 53 catches, 667 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That would be from like a backup tight end, it feels like. And this is from Kyle Pitts. But I had to put him at 9 because I believe that this will finally be the year. But I need to see it. I can't put him higher. I would love to put him at 4, 3, 2 if I could because the talent is there.
I really think you put him too low in your
like if he was on the Chiefs, he'd be 1.
Dude, if I was on the Chiefs, I'd be 1.
All right, I don't know about that. Relax, buddy.
Like, come on.
Relax.
It's the Chiefs we're talking about.
I don't know about that. He'd be putting up Travis Kelce numbers for Showski.
For sure.
For show, no. Right? All right, moving on to
That's
8.
all you got to say?
That's all I have to say about Kyle Pitts. I can't say anything more unless, we'll talk about him more during the season. If we see the right stuff.
Okay. So at number 8, I got another young guy on the list. Going into his 3rd season, I got Trey McBride. So last year
Down
finished
here at 8, huh? Down here at 8.
Yeah. Not too bad. He finished as tight end 7 last year.
Right.
But this year, I think he takes a little bit of a step back with the addition of Marvin Harrison Jr. into that offense. I think Kyler's going to go more towards him.
You think he takes a step back?
Well, I mean, yeah, he finished at 7 last year, and I have him as 8.
Well, he started playing well when Kyler came back.
No, I know, but
Kyler's healthy now.
Yeah, but he didn't have Marvin Harrison last year. I think
He had
Marvin
Hollywood
Harrison-
Brown.
I think Marvin Harrison is going to be the reason McBride takes a little step back. I think Harrison's going to get most of the targets in the Cardinals offense this year, which honestly he should. There's no reason he shouldn't. Especially with how hyped he is going into the season. So I think McBride's touchdowns might go up a tiny bit in the red zone. He had 3 last year. I think he's going to have probably around 5 this year. But the yardage and the targets are going to go down. He finished with 825 last year. I don't think he hits that again this year. Because he was targeted 106 times for 81 receptions. I think he's going to see a decrease in his targets. Only targeted maybe 80 times this year. What's that face for, John? What do you got?
I'll add to that later.
Oh, you got him. You got him up there on your list. Okay.
Yeah, I'll add to him later.
Okay. Who you got?
If that's all you got.
I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't really know tight end, so.
Like I said, I'm just here.
Yeah, this video is going to be abysmal, but I'm still going to give you guys my list because that's what we do here.
Is that what we do here?
That's what we do here. We give the people a list, but they should listen to yours over mine.
All right, we'll just continue with mine, I guess. All right, my tight end, 8th tight end I have on the list here is I feel like is very disrespected and not going very high in drafts, and I don't blame him. It's Mr. Dalton Schultz. Okay. Now Dalton Schultz was good when he was on Dallas. All right, he does have a top 3 tight end finish in the past 2 years ago. Finished as the tight end 10 last year. Okay, in a very high-powered Texans offense. He was very inconsistent last year.
Yeah.
Sort of like a George Kittle. Still finished at the 10th spot, right? Missed only 2 games. 59 catches, 630 yards, 5 touchdowns. Decent year. I think it goes up slightly. And I'll tell you why. As we finished 10th, I only got him bumped up to 8. Because this offense is so high-powered, right? You got 3 receivers out wide, Joe Mixon in the backfield, right? I think now another year with C.J. Stroud, building up the chemistry and the rapport, I think this is going to be his security blanket this year, right? With the whole offense going crazy, I think Dalton Schultz is definitely going to get his share this year. I think that, his yards are going to go up, his catches, touchdowns are going to go up, and it's going to bring a lot of I think it's going to bring all that from the attention of all of those superstar wide receivers being there, right? And to be honest, I really have too much to say about him, honestly, is that I think you can get him as a value because he is going so late in drafts. And if you're in a 10-man league, there's only really 10 tight ends going off the board necessarily, so you can get him way late in the draft. You can wait on a tight end if you want a good tight end who's going to finish guaranteed in the top 10, in my opinion. Dalton Schultz is there for the taking late.
He's guaranteed?
Late in rounds, really. He's like the only.
To put a wager on that?
What? That he doesn't finish in the top 10?
That he does finish?
I think he will.
He said guaranteed. When I said someone was guaranteed, when I said Cooper was going to have a better season than Puka, I told him I'll jump in the ocean in the middle of February.
Right.
If they don't. You willing to put that on the line too?
I mean, sure, yeah, because I think he will. Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll be there recording when you jump in because
Yeah?
Cooper Kupp ain't finishing top 10.
but
Dalton might finish top 5 because I think his target share will go up a little bit more.
Okay.
It'll be nice for second-year C.J. Stroud to have a nice security blanket and
Okay.
Dalton Schultz. So I think he just bumps up slightly.
Okay.
That's all I got. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay.
What's going on in the group
So,
chat here, man?
what do we at now? 7, right?
6. I
No,
believe so.
number
Should be good to go. Oh, Griff and all right, perfect. Yep. Tuesday at 7. We're good.
Cool. So at number
We're good for the
7,
draft.
this one's gonna be very quick. We already talked about him. I said what I said about I need to say about him. I got Kyle Pitts.
All right, so you got him slightly.
Yeah, slightly
Higher.
higher. But like I said, I do think this is gonna be his
You believe a little more than I do.
a little bit more. Yes, I do believe because we all saw what like you said, we saw what Kirk Cousins did with T.J. Hawkinson in Minnesota. I think he's gonna replicate that with Kyle Pitts in Atlanta. I
Right.
think the addition of Kirk Cousins is going to be a career-changing decision for Kyle Pitts, and he's finally going to be the Kyle Pitts that was so hyped up coming out of the draft. That's all I gotta say about him. We talked about him already, so
I really hope that this is the year.
I think so.
This is because
You should hope this isn't the year being a Panthers fan.
Yeah, but like the Falcons still suck. I mean, like they're good, but I gotta see it all together with all
Okay.
these new pieces that they got. But
got
like
you.
from a talent wise, like Kirk throwing at Kyle Pitts all year, then I'm fine with that. We just need to see it for fantasy
Yeah.
because I'm sick of the bullshit, Kev. I'm really sick of it. And after being on that train last year that I didn't want to get on, this has to change.
Has to stop.
Yes, has to stop. All right, moving on to my 7th. I think it's a little bit of an underrated guy, but I think with the situation he's in, I think he is ready to flourish.
Okay.
And I think just like by default, he's going to just get a big % of the target share going in this year. And that's Mr. Jake Ferguson. Mr. Nasty Jake Ferguson. All right.
Ferguson. Okay.
Cowboys tight end. Okay. Had a great year last year. All right. Finished as a tight end 9. Even though behind CeeDee Lamb, who scored a gazillion points and finished as a wide receiver 1 last year. Obviously, there's a contract dispute, right? Could possibly miss week 1. All right. Dak Prescott's healthy, as long as I'm aware of that, right?
Relying on Ferguson if CD doesn't play.
Yeah, because if CeeDee's not there, we got old man Brandon Cooks, washed up Zeke, Rico Dowdle,
Yeah, you really only have Ferguson.
inconsistent Michael Gallup, right? All I'm looking at.
Leave? Didn't he retire?
I don't know about retire, but he might be on a team.
I don't think. Gallup's on-
Besides, CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, there's not really anybody else catching balls on that offense.
Yeah, no.
Besides Ferguson. Besides Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson, in a really bad tight end lineup, should finish very highly, just getting force-fed by
Gallup is on the Raiders on a 1-year deal.
Gallup ain't in Dallas no more.
Not even there.
Even more of a reason to take Jake Ferguson. Even more of a reason to take him. And even if CeeDee's there, to me, Jake Ferguson's the second option in that offense behind CeeDee Lamb. I shouldn't have to say anything more. I mean, his touchdowns should go up, his yards, his catches. Had 102 targets last year, which is the most he's ever seen. And he's a young guy. This is only his 3rd year in the league he's going into. Draft Jake Ferguson where you can. I will say he's going a little higher than I expected. But still, he's going at a decent value. And I think that he might even finish higher than 7.
Okay.
Seriously. I think just in this specific situation, he's going to get force-fed. The volume from Dak is going to be so immense, regardless if CeeDee's there or not. And he's going at a decent value on the draft board. So I like Jake Ferguson as a really sneaky tight end. Like you wait on him a little bit, but then all of a sudden he's got that crazy top 4-3 finish at the tight end position. And I truly believe that.
Okay. So at my number 6, this is where the list gets wonky. And
Where the list falls apart.
this is where I really kind of just went off, where I would just rank overall tight end. Like you said, in just the game of football, George Kittle is arguably the best tight end in the league. So number 6, my tight end, this is where the list gets wonky and everything. Well, really the next picks where it starts getting wonky. But I got Dallas Goedert. I don't really have much to say about him. To be honest, I don't really have much to say about him.
Devin.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is the one position that I I draft such a bad tight end every year. Like, if I don't get one of the top 3 guys, my tight end is just like Joe Schmo from whatever team.
You gotta believe in what you're selling, man.
I don't.
I don't. Kevin's feeding you bullshit.
When it comes to tight ends, yes, I'm feeding you fucking bullshit.
Goddard at 6 to me is absolutely bananas.
That's like
I'll tell you now.
fantasy wise, yeah, but like as a
before you go, I have him outside the top 10.
dude, I'm not
Around like 11, 12, 13.
You're probably right.
Right. I was high on him last year, and he disappointed me last year. Even though
right.
he was hurt, he missed a few games. He finished as a tight end 14, which is about where I have him ranked this year. You know, lows across the board, reception-wise, yards-wise, and touchdown-wise, and the offense just keeps getting stronger, and I don't really see him catching up with the rest of the offense.
To be honest with you, you're right. You are. Because, like you said, George Kittle, overall in football, is arguably the best tight end in the game right now. Mm-hmm. But in fantasy, he's not.
Right.
In just football, Goddard's a top 10 tight end, in my opinion. In just football. Fantasy-wise, no. I get it. I get it. But I don't know fantasy tight ends like that. So I put Goddard on my list.
At 6? You got him high up there, man.
Dude, spoiler alert, I got George Kittle as my number 2. I went based off just overall tight end. I didn't look at fantasy for tight end.
So, for this episode, Kevin just has top 10 tight ends.
I said that in the beginning.
For the NFL.
I said that in the beginning.
I got the fantasy stuff covered on my end.
In the beginning,
all
bro.
Right. Okay. All right.
I don't know why he's acting like this. I told him this before we went on camera.
All right. I guess I missed that
in the
part.
intro.
I guess I missed that part. Okay. All right.
When I tell you I don't know fantasy tight ends, I do not know fantasy tight end.
I'm well aware.
It is the one position, like, I can't even bullshit anything. Like, that's how bad I know fantasy tight ends. I don't know why. I just don't.
God, I can't wait for the kicker episode.
Bro. Kicker episode. We don't even need John's list. Just listen to your boy, the kickers.
So what do you got?
I got it. I don't know. You can
That's
continue.
it. That's it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give you the names.
That's it.
Did you
want me to just? All right, I'll do it.
I don't have a say for.
I'll do all the work. That's fine.
Bro, just do your list.
All right.
I'll just give my names. I don't need to.
Don't draft Dallas Goedert. Okay.
You could get
even if you're in a 12-man league, he really shouldn't be your starter. There's plenty of other tight ends to go about.
Pre-drops 45 week 1.
Unless he drops 45 points week 1,
45 week 1
then you better pick him up. He ain't dropping no 45 week 1.
All right, John, who you got?
All right, now my number 6, and honestly, I probably could put him maybe a smidge higher, but because he was a rookie last year and his sophomore year, and we already talked about him a little bit, I think 6 is a great spot. I got Dalton Kincaid.
Okay.
Being practically the number 1 option, it feels like, in that offense, even though they did draft Keon Coleman. I think Dalton Kincaid is going to get a large target share from Josh Allen. He's going to be his best buddy, his saving grace, his safety blanket, if you will. I think Dalton Kincaid is going to finish very highly in the tight end market. And that's all I have to say about that.
Right.
Take him, draft him wherever you can. He's going to do very well this year. In all formats. You have anything to add to that?
Yeah. If it's between him and Goddard, take Goddard.
This is blasphemy.
All right. What do we have? 5, right? Yeah, we have 5.
Yep.
So, top 5. I mean, looking at him now on my screen, he probably should be a little bit higher, but honestly, not terribly. Like, he's not like he's in this range.
We have the same one.
Yeah, I have. Okay, so Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
Like, he finished as tight end 2 last year, but the year before that, he finished 5. So I feel like between the 5 and 2 range, like, that's fine.
He's definitely much closer to 5 than he is 2. 2 is a little bit of an outlier. Clearly, But
you got to think, though, they don't have Calvin Ridley this year. It's really just him and Christian Kirk. Oh, and Gabe Davis.
There's no Calvin Ridley, but Gabe Davis enters the fray.
Okay, so actually, no. I forgot Gabe Davis was there. Since Gabe Davis is there, I'm honestly, even for fantasy-wise, I'm happy with my number 5.
Evan Ingram had career highs in targets, receptions, and yards. His targets, 143 targets from a tight end
it's crazy.
is ridiculous. It really is. That's going to
ridiculous.
drop. I expect to see a little bit of a setback, target-wise, reception-wise, maybe even yards-wise. He's not so much a touchdown machine, but definitely he was a PPR fucking fanatic last season.
Yeah.
Seriously. He only finished like 5 or 6 points shy of the one spot behind Laporta because of the sheer volume. And 114 catches from a tight end is not right. That is so many catches from a tight end. It really is. There will definitely be a setback in there. And Evan Ingram is going very high in drafts right now, so be careful with that. Despite the Jaguars' offense being a little, very on the fence going into this season, I thought Trevor Lawrence was going to take that step last year, and they absolutely tanked and, fucked themselves and lost the division because of it. And now losing Calvin Ridley, I think, is also going to be huge. I know the sign gave Davis all that money. And Evan Ingram is definitely Trevor Lawrence's saving grace. But 114 catches, we got to stop. That is way too many catches. We're going to take a step back. But I think 5 is just perfect for Evan Ingram. Right in the middle of the pack.
Awesome.
Not saying he can't finish higher, but 2 with that amount of catches on those amount of targets is ridiculous. Yeah. Still take Evan Ingram. Right tight end.
All right. So at number 4, from here on my list, is really just like football, like no fantasy wise.
Okay.
These guys are just the best at their position in real life. Take away fantasy, these are the guys.
Well, this guy's also very good at fantasy football.
No,
too.
I know he is, but I feel like he could have been in a different place if I was looking at fantasy. I put Mark Andrews. I know he's questionable right now with a.
He'll be all right. He'll be there for week 1.
Undisclosed, it says so.
Right.
Whatever that means.
He'll be there for week 1.
Yeah. But yeah, he's been in the top 5 for 4 of the last 6 years. He was top 5. He had a bad year last year because he was injured.
Was doing well.
Yeah,
and then
was doing well. But
unfortunate injury.
To his ACL or something, right?
Did some to his leg or ankle, but I know that he's fine and he'll be ready for week 1.
Yeah. So,
the injury he has now has nothing to do with the injury he had last year.
Yeah, he's fine.
Different injuries.
He'll be okay.
I
don't really have much to say about him.
He's in a great offense.
Yeah, I know.
Him and Lamar, it's a great stack to have in fantasy. It's one of the top stacks to have, definitely.
Like I said, I was just looking at as just position-wise.
Yeah.
He's one of the best at his position in football.
Sure.
Outside of fantasy, he's in that top
big,
conversation.
dominant tight end, and his numbers through the air are insane. When he's healthy, he's on the field. That is Lamar's go-to guy. That is his number 1 in the offense. Mark Andrews is kind of how they run through the receiving core of the offense. So I think 4, fully healthy. I think 4 is just a smidge low, but I get it, kind of, maybe. We'll see.
Remember, fantasy was not taken into accountability when making this list.
That's all right.
Accountability taken into account while making this list.
All right, my number 4 tight end. You already talked to him. You already talked about him earlier. So now I'm going to give my half to this. All right. To me, Trey McBride, is definitely going to have a very big opportunity to finish as a top 3 tight end, potentially the 1. Okay. On the season. Second year in the league last year, had a very slow start. Kyler Murray comes back and just force feeds him the ball every game. Okay. Finish as a tight end 7. Would have finished higher had Kyler been there all year. We now have a healthy Kyler. 3rd year of Trey McBride now in this offense and developing chemistry with Kyler. You remove Hollywood. Obviously, they draft Marvin Harrison very high. So now they have the number 1 receiver there, which I don't think is going to negatively affect McBride. I think that will only enhance it. McBride, to me, was going to be either the number 1 or the number 2 option in this offense. I still think he might be the number 1 option, despite Marvin Harrison is a rookie. All right, still need maybe a time to, get acquainted with the NFL. Might take him a few weeks. So in that time, Trey McBride will just be dominating football and being Kyler Murray's security blanket. While Kyler is running around, making the entire defense tired, he will be looking for Trey McBride down the field. I think that he will force feed him targets, catches, yards. Trey McBride, I'm blind. 106 targets, 81 catches, almost 1,000 yards. Touchdowns were a little low, only 3. I think that you see an increase in touchdown production, yards, and catches. Seriously, I think Trey McBride is a dark horse for the number 1 spot in the tight end list this year. That's all I got to say about that.
I mean, I already talked about him.
He's a big part of the Cardinals' offense.
No, I know.
I think that's going to be a reason why they win games and why Kyler does so well, too.
That's all you got on him?
Yeah, would you like me to say any more?
No, I mean, if you
He's
have
the
more,
GOAT.
go ahead. He's the GOAT?
The GOAT.
All right.
The GOAT.
All right.
He's my GOAT.
All right.
All right.
Get into the top 3. I have Sam Laporta.
Well, you see a little setback, maybe?
I mean,
From the 1 spot last year?
again, did not take fantasy into account while making this list. But I did know how well he did last year. I think he's going to have a similar season. He could finish as the tight end 1 again. Like, no doubt in my mind he could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But coming from just a football stand, he's my tight end 3.
I feel like we should just like redo this tomorrow. This is just.
Dude, I'm gonna give you the same shit tomorrow.
Why does he talk? Does
Uh,
he have speaking lines?
No, I don't think so.
Who gave him
Is
that?
that in his contract?
Does he have a contract?
I don't know. He's your brother.
Whoa.
Whoa. Give out the full government next, Cavs. Damn.
What's his middle name?
Stevenson.
John doesn't probably even know.
I would hope John knows.
I hope John knows.
Thomas can't even spell his middle name. It's only 3 letters.
Maybe John knows.
3 letters. What is it? Like Lee? Leo?
What? Leo?
Sam?
When he said 3 letters, the first thing you thought of was Lee.
Sam?
Thomas.
Tim?
Yeah,
Lee
Thomas
Ball.
Lee.
You hear that? Thomas leap a lot.
Whoa. Giving out the government. That's
Yeah, I'll say John's
crazy.
middle name.
Yeah, go ahead. Say my full name.
Um,
John Bartholomew.
I was gonna say it.
John Bartholomew Sabathia Pilato.
Alright, let's get back on topic. John, you have any
We're back in this bitch.
input for me putting
I
Sam Laporta at 3? You
mean,
think that's a little
you
low,
know,
high? Talk to me.
despite you have not a clue what you're talking about, I can realistically say I could see it, the argument, Sam Laporta potentially taking a step back fantasy-wise because he did finish so high last year as a number 1 as a rookie, which is very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare to see a rookie get drafted and come in and then take Travis Kelce off his pedestal, right? Because Travis Kelce has just been so dominant every year at the 1 position. But I say nay.
You say nay.
I say nay because I think the Lions' offense as a whole is just going to keep going and getting bigger and better next season. And Sam Laporta will do even better next year.
Oh. You think so?
But I can see both arguments.
Okay.
So if that's all you have,
Yeah, man, I don't really have much on these
Hey,
next.
listen, it's a quick
top three
it's a
guys.
quick video. You know, we've been doing this all week with quarterbacks, receivers, running backs. I will say, even though tight ends, we could definitely make it a lot shorter discussions, you know, because we've already talked about all these guys' offenses, quarterback situations, you know, throughout the last couple videos. If you haven't seen those, make sure to go click them at Say It With Your Chest podcast on YouTube, which you're already watching it on. So just go back, bitch, and go watch the
to
other
the
3.
channel.
Go to the channel, go watch the other 3. All right, enough. God damn. They're so just annoying sometimes. But I love you guys, seriously. Thank you for watching. Mwah. Anyway, what was I saying? Laporta, the GOAT, straight up. Yeah, no doubt. Second year in this offense, second year in the league, everything up.
Everything up?
Everything up. Maybe not touchdowns.
Yeah, I would say he had 10 touchdowns. That's a lot.
last year. The
Like,
touchdowns might come down. Yards and catches going way up.
okay.
He's going to be heavily targeted in this offense.
Okay.
Amon Ross the 1.
Yeah.
Laporta's the 2 in that offense. Okay,
Yeah.
receiving wise.
Yeah.
So expect a bigger target share this year. That's Goff's security blanket.
But definitely expect less touchdowns.
Yeah, I would think so. You know, I can't guarantee he'll have 10 again next year, but we'll see.
If he does, hats off to you.
Yeah. All right. This was your third. All right,
Yeah,
I'll
who's
move on
your-
to my
who's
third.
your three, John?
All right, my third. I think this was a, no-brainer. Third pick I got Mark Andrews finishing number 3. All right. Could put him higher. It's tough to put him over Travis Kelce. Shocker. He's above him. But Mark Andrews, that's Lamar's guy. When he's healthy, he's dominant. Year in and year out, Mark is always going to be fighting for this top spot. There really ain't much to talk about him. Mark is going in about the 3rd or 4th round, right behind Travis Kelce and Sam Laporta. You know, he could be a value depending on how you look at it. If you can get him at a value, he drops to the late 4th to the 5th round. Definitely pick him up. The injury he's dealing with now, undisclosed, has nothing to do with the injury he suffered last year. There's nothing wrong with Mark Andrews. You take him. That is a safe pick. That's one of the picks you pick in the draft at the tight end position. That's a lock. All right. Injury is the only thing that's going to take him down and not have him scoring points for you on your team. Guaranteed points every week. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about Mr. Mark.
Very nice, very nice.
The GOAT.
All right, so number 2.
Oh, my God. Yep.
Non-fantasy wise, this guy is arguably the best tight end.
Sure.
You know, you could argue him and Travis Kelce. They're like 1A, 1B. I got George Kittle. Yeah, I mean, like I said, did not take fantasy into account while making this list. So I feel like if you don't... Real quick, I just noticed this, I'm sorry. Our producer is very uneducated because it's not seconds. It's second. ND. Thomas, ND, not TH.
So close.
Fantasy taking out George Kittle
Oh, my God.
is 1A, 1B with Travis Kelce. That's all I really have to say. You talked about him earlier on the fantasy side.
Yep.
So there's not much to say. You want to go into your number 2?
What? Oh, not much to say about you. I mean,
I don't really.
Well, I'll say for the people out there.
He's probably the best run blocking tight end in the league.
Despite
but that
George
doesn't go
Kittle
into
being
fantasy.
a great NFL tight end, for fantasy wise, he is not going to most likely finish that high. Although, listen, it's George Kittle. He's a great player. When he gets the ball, he doesn't go down. You know, he's really a wild card, really, because he could finish 15th. He could finish 5th. He'll finish anywhere in that range. All I know is he's not going as a high-rated tight end in fantasy, so I guess you could look at that as a value. But if you want to rip your hair out and deal with that inconsistency every week and hope that he is one of the 4 options in that offense to get the ball every week.
Just saying, on Sleeper, he is ranked as tight end number 2.
Where? What do you mean?
Brother. Look. Right here. Look at my screen.
I'm looking. I don't know what that means because he's not.
It's under player ranking.
He's going as the 9th tight end off the board.
What the fuck is this?
I have no idea. That might just be player ranking.
Yeah, that might just be
like behind Kelce. I guess he's like the second best tight end.
But then this also has how many the percentage of teams he was rostered on last year. See, it's number 2 tight end.
Oh, he was rostered. I mean, for sure.
No, I know, but why would these be in the same thing? Like, why would this be football wise, but then these be fantasy wise? Then again, I also don't know what this is. All right, we're getting sidetracked. That's beside the point.
That was overall player ranking, I think. Like, out of all players last year, that's where he ranked.
Okay.
109th.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Yeah, not that great.
John, take us to number 2 for you. Who's your tooth?
My tooth, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. It's Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce, okay.
Yeah. Now, I could have put him 1 because he's been 1 like every year of his career.
Uh-huh.
Tooth. I can't believe it. He's so stupid. I cannot believe he took that so literally and he put it from 1 to 10, like literally 10 to 1. He just put TH for everything. He doesn't, there's no brain cells in that head of his. It really is. There's just not. So, Travis Kelce, been the tight end 1, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. He was 10-1 5 years in a row. Finished second to Mark Andrews in that big year he had in 2021. Then Chiefs go and they win the Super Bowl against the Eagles. He was the number one tight end that year. And then he finished actually as tight end 3 last year behind Laporta and Evan Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that he will, it's Travis Kelce, okay? I ain't going to sugarcoat it. Best receiving tight end in the game, no doubt. Mahomes and Kelce, one of the best, if not the best duo in the league, all right? Every year in and year out, Kelce's going to get the ball. That's going to be the first option Mahomes looks to in the offense. He's always going to produce if he's healthy. When he plays all 16 or 17 games, the catches, the targets, the yards, the touchdowns are going to be there. He had a career low, it felt like, in touchdowns. He only had 5 touchdowns this year, which is probably a good reason why he finished as a third tight end and not higher. Laporta finished with 10 touchdowns, so that was the difference. Obviously, the difference at the top was not that far apart. It was only a 20-point difference from the top 3. I think Travis Kelce will finish at about the 2, could finish as the 1. It's very close at the top. But yeah, I mean, we can move on right now because you have him at 1.
Yep, my 1th.
Yeah, you have him at 1th.
My 1th is Travis Kelce because football-wise, he is the best tight end in the league.
Right.
Him and Mahomes, crazy duo.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's a great stack to have in fantasy, I feel like.
It's definitely, you could argue it's the best stack in football.
Yeah.
I mean, it has been for years. Last couple seasons have been a little wonky, especially last year. Definitely was not the most ideal year. Tight end 3 for Kelce is a down year.
I mean, he didn't have 1,000 yards for the first time in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Brother, you got to go
6,
back almost
7.
to his rookie year, it feels like.
In 7 years, he had 7 straight 1,000+ yard seasons. Last year, he came just shy with 984.
A low in yards, a low in catches, a low in touchdowns for sure. Honestly, it was a down year. Down year for Kelce.
Yeah, but that's a great year for a tight end.
And slightly a down year for Mahomes. I know, granted, he won the Super Bowl, but regular season-wise, it wasn't that great.
Yeah, no, Chiefs were not the best team last year. Even though they did win Super Bowl, Chiefs standard, they didn't live up to
regular season-wise, no, they were not.
But, I mean...
And they were going out... No, we got to talk about this, because last year, they were going at very high prices. Yeah. Travis Kelce was being drafted in the first round for a tight end, which is insane. But, I get the argument, but he was not worth a first-round pick at all last year. People should have saw that coming immediately. Comes off of one of the best seasons he ever had, and then they thought he was going to do that again next year. But, I guess, he still could have finished 1 at the tight end position, but Jesus Christ, what he put up last year definitely was going to come down a little bit. And for a first-round pick for a tight end, for any tight end, I don't care if Gronk was going there, Tony Gonzalez, that first-round pick ain't worth it on a tight end, okay? He's now dropped all the way to the 3rd round, and he's going behind Laporta, okay, which is who I actually have my 1th, if everybody would like to look. To me, I think the Lions' offense just gets better, and I think Laporta is going to get a higher target share than he did. Despite him having a great rookie season, I think he just, the ceiling is just, it's higher. Mm-hmm. It really is. I think the sky's the limit for him. I think this is the guy that's going to be in the battle now with Kelce and Andrews for that top spot. And I think next year he will go back-to-back as the one. Back-to-back. I think the Chiefs' offense,
it's very likely.
The Chiefs' offense has gotten better. Kelce has come out and said that last year definitely took a toll on his body. Mm-hmm. Why? So we might be seeing the slight decline. Of I'm not going to say he's washed or anything. No. But I say the decline
but
is
probably
starting.
Within the next couple of years, he's going to hang him up.
The decline is starting, but it's fine. Mm-hmm. With Laporta and Kincaid to fill in, from the rookies season that they had last year.
Also, you got to look at it. Travis Kelce was in his 10th season last year. For a tight end, that's a long career.
This is the definition of consistency.
No, I know.
Right here. Okay.
But 10 years, really for anybody in the NFL, that's a long career. Let alone
to put up these numbers, that's why he's Hall of Famer.
A tight end who is blocking every other play. It takes a toll on your body. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he's still producing at such a high rate at his age, good for him.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you to not draft Travis Kelce. He is going in the 3rd round behind Laporta. I would, if you have a chance to take either one of them and you're looking to grab a tight end that early, I would, maybe lean towards the young gun on a very good offense. That would just be the logic behind that. Mm-hmm. But then again, if you want to go name brand and hope that the Chiefs offense has gotten a little bit better, and that they're going to produce a little bit more than they did last year, then go for it. You know, obviously, Travis Kelce in the third round, much better than Travis Kelce in the first round. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you to not do that. But regardless of who you pick, they're going to finish high up on the list. Kelce, Andrews, Laporta, and possibly McBride, I would say, are locks for like straight up consistency all year, that you don't really have to be looking for a backup majority of the year, you know, because a lot of people are going to take some of these guys in the back end of the draft, and they're going to have to most likely play a backup every other week because it's just too inconsistent at the tight end position. So I would say those 4 guys are most like a lock if you draft them early, and you'll be fine the rest of the way.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad that you have him number 1.
Yeah.
You got anything else before we say goodbye, or?
No, I think that's good. Yeah. I got nothing else to add. How about you? That's all I got to add for this.
Anything else to say before we sign
Yeah,
off?
sorry. Before the camera rudely interrupted us and died on us right before we were about to close this bitch out. All right, that's it for the tight ends. Now we are done with quarterback rankings, running back rankings, receiver rankings, and tight end rankings. If you seriously need more help, I have nothing to offer you anymore. The season is 2 weeks away.
There will be
We gave you
episode
all of our
coming
top
next
players.
week about stacks.
Yeah.
Good stacks, bad stacks. Everything about stacks.
There will be another episode coming out.
Next week. When
What?
this comes out, it'll be 2 days when this comes out.
Right. This is being filmed a couple days before this video comes out. So when you
Next
see
week
this,
for us, about 2 days for you guys.
yeah, there will be another video coming out next week. 2 days, I guess, whatever. Strictly fantasy. We're gonna talk stacks, how to draft, where to draft certain players, some different strategies that you could go into the draft with. Any tips and tricks on anything that regarding that. All right, that's going to be a full thing next week. Even though we are in late August and most of you have drafted already, still got a whole week right before the season, so we're going to put that out. And hopefully, if you guys are drafting the last weekend right before the season starts, then that's good for you. And then a potential college football episode coming your way next week. That's going to be fun and interesting. Besides that, I think we're good. Thank you guys for watching the last couple rankings videos. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, hit us up on Instagram or at our channels, Instagram or TikTok, or leave a comment on this YouTube video. That's all I got. Anything for you?
That's all I got.
All right. See you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Deuces.